Welcome back everyone to my A through Z playthrough, and I am doing something a little unique. I did say that I wasn't going to do this in the Lost Vikings video, but because of, one, the nature of matchmaking quick match today, hasn't been going that well. It's been a little difficult. Because, as is the nature, it usually tends to be a lot of squishies, assassins, and supports. And no warriors. And because Malthael is strong against warriors, and I was trying to come up with a way to try and show how good that can be, I decided, why don't I see if I can set up some kind of custom game? So, let's go ahead and jump right in here on one of my favorite maps, and what I think is one of Malthael's best maps as well, for spreading around his trait, Infernal Shrines. And the teams I've set up, look at these teams. On my side, I have ETC to tank for me, Lydia to heal me, Kael'thas for that range damage, and Artanis for an extra frontliner, versus a Cho'Gall, a Stitches, a Garrosh, and a Rexxar. Why these four? Well, or five? Well, because, of course, they have some of the highest health in the game, which means Malthael can get lots of value from that. I'm going to go with Death's Reach to increase the range of my Wraith Strike. For those of you who have never seen Malthael before, he did come out, I believe, within the past year, so he hasn't actually gone through that much change other than some number tweaks here and there, but he's mostly been the same since he came out. His Q is Soul Rip, which extracts healing from those who are affected by your trait, Reaper's Mark, which reveals enemies and takes damage equal to 2% of their maximum health every second. This, of course, when you look at the other side and you see Stitches, Cho'Gall, Garrosh, and Rexxar for... now, of course, I did it for a number of reasons. I picked Garrosh to show that it affects those that even if they have armor. And it actually does affect Garrosh, even though he has his armor. It affects Stitches, of course, because he has tons of health. I was hoping he was going to take Hungry for more, but hey, it's AI, so what do you expect? What do you know? But I took Cho'Gall because he has the highest health in the game. Thus, I'll be able to get lots of value. In fact, I'm going to make my way up there. I see him up there. And I picked Rexxar because I figured that could give us another body and another way to help spread our Reaper's Mark around, which of course is very big. Now you can see how much damage and healing I'm getting from Cho'Gall. That's something important to know, is that you get healing based on their maximum health. The higher their health, the more healing I get. And this is why Malthael has turned out to be very strong against Cho'Gall and other high health heroes, especially in organized play. And if you pair him with the likes of Leoric against someone like a Cho'Gall, you will have it made. Look how much damage I've already done just because I'm putting my mark on these high health heroes. Now, of course, I'm using an extreme example here in this custom game. Don't expect this kind of matchup ever. You are never going to find a matchup like this. By the way, what you just saw is the new change to Garrosh, where he no longer pulls you with his Q, but rather he just stuns you. Now, some people are having a bit of a problem with this. Some people, I'm sure, are overjoyed by this. I believe it was Sinvicta who talked about his problem with this being a possible bad trend. As someone who regularly plays Garrosh, I can, I guess, get my thoughts on it, but I say we can figure out a way to work around it. I'm going to take Black Harvest, which is a quest to keep my trait on enemy heroes for a period of time. And once I finish that quest, I will be able to have it stay on them permanently for another extra 2 seconds. And the reason I'm taking this is because there is another talent later on that can be able to help us apply this damage even more so. Now, here early on, you're not going to get much value from your Reaper's Mark for this objective, but you will be able to later on once we get to level 10. I'm going to make my way down here to help out my Kael'thas teammate against the Stitches, because of course I'm able to get lots of damage and healing from the Stitches. He did take dampen magic, but I feel like I can still be able to get some decent damage on him from my abilities. Making my way up here. Of course, my team is having a bit of trouble, but that should hopefully change here any moment once I'm able to apply my Reaper's Mark to this entire enemy team. The more I apply it to them, the more I will be able to heal myself. So you can see how much damage I did to Cho'Gall and Rexxar and Garrosh. Of course, I put that there, and I can be able to, boom, blink right to him, and be able to keep constantly applying that, keep healing from that. Just so good. So good against warriors. Now, I thought when I first heard about Malthael's kit and what he was going to be about, I thought he was going to be a character that was going to change the game, shake up the meta, where you would no longer ever see multi-warrior compositions. I thought that is something we will never see in this game again because of Malthael, because he's going to be so strong against warriors. Why would you ever pick a multi-warrior comp? And I thought that was going to be the case. It's not. It is sort of the case. Sometimes you will see Malthael banned. I'm going to take Mortality to increase the damage I do based on their maximum health with my Reaper's Mark. Of course, I'm focusing on Rexxar because that's going to take out Rexxar, and then it takes out Misha. But of course, Misha does count towards my Reaper's Mark quest. Just hoping to... there we go. I applied the Reaper's Mark to Garrosh. My Artanis AI teammate just going straight in. I'm going to go ahead and blink in there to apply my extra damage to Garrosh. Look at that extra damage I just did to Cho'Gall because I used my W on him. That is the strength of this kind of build against warriors. You do so much damage and healing against them when you are able to constantly apply your Reaper's Mark on them, but also the extra abilities that give you more damage based on their maximum overall health. Oh, it's just so good. And now I have finished my quest, which means that the mark is going to continue to be applied for an extra 2 seconds permanently from now on for the rest of the game. And there is a reason for that later on. And look at that. It continues to keep going for 6 seconds. At level 10, I'm going to take Tormented Souls, which gives me armor and unleashes a Torrent of Souls. Continue applying Reaper's Mark to nearby enemies for 4 seconds. So it gives me some damage mitigation and lets me just spread the Reaper's Mark around, which then I'm able to do constant damage as well as constant self-sustain against them. Can you see where I'm going with this build? The idea, especially on this map, where once I am doing an objective, I can be able to spread it to all the monsters and be able to damage them as well as get healing off of them as well. Unfortunately, this kind of situation that I'm showing you is not going to be very often, sadly, as I was trying to do so in Quick Match and could not be able to because, of course, Quick Match just does not usually tend to put warriors in there, because no one usually wants to queue as warriors, unfortunately. So again, this is an extreme example and situation that I am using to try and make a point about this character to show you guys why he is really good and why you should take the time to learn him if you want to know and learn a hero that can go up against multi-warrior, high-health hero compositions. One of my others is, of course, Leoric, as you guys heard me talk about earlier in the playthrough, where you are able to just use your Drain Hope to get more damage and healing off them based on what their maximum overall health is. Which is why, if you can have a Malthael and a Leoric, you will dominate multi-warrior compositions. And again, this is I know this is an extreme example. Oh my goodness. Wow! The laser and the pyroblast on that Rexxar. Oh my goodness. Okay. Boom! Look at that extra healing I get because I applied it to all the minions in the lane. We are very close to level 13. So as I said, Malthael has not really gone through that much change over the past year. He just mainly received some number tweaks. He wasn't, if I recall, he wasn't considered overpowered because he doesn't really do that well against low health squishy targets at all. At level 13, you can go a number of different ways. This is one of the things I like. He's got a lot of variety here. You can either go for more healing based on their health. You can go for more physical armor if you spread your Reaper's Mark a lot. You can get a shield for spell armor. I'm going to go with healing, Soul Siphon, because it's, again, based off the enemy's max overall health. And we already have been able to do that a lot against these warriors that can be able to do this. Now, of course, if the enemy team had come up here, I would have been able to use my ult to not only apply it to the enemy team, but also to the monsters at that shrine. And right now, perhaps I should have turned up the level of the AI, but I was just wanting to make a point without having issues. There we go. Continually applying that. Hello, Stitches. Thank you for pulling me towards you. Now I'm going to go in to pop my ult to apply the Reaper's Mark to all these heroes, including the Rexar and the Cho'Gall, and look at how much I am able to self-sustain myself against them. Look at my health. It's like not going down at all because of how much self-sustain I'm able to get from simply spreading that around. It's so good. Any time I'm playing a squishy and I come up against in quick match, I come up against a Cho'Gall, I immediately go, oh, I wish I was playing either Leoric or Malthael. Because man, if there is any assassin in this game that counters Cho'Gall heavily, it is a Malthael. Unfortunately, this game might end. I think I'm gonna have to go ahead and pull my AI teammates away, because I don't want this game to end just yet. I'm going to go ahead and hearth back. Just make sure they get out of there, because I at least want to get us to level 16 so I can show you why I went for that talent that increases my trait. Just get my AI teammates to hearth away. They're all just sitting there. Follow me, my team. Dun, da, 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 da. Alright, you guys can go your separate ways. Go on, go on. Let's make our way down here. See if we can do a bit more soaking. So we can get to level 16. So I can get the talent that really helps make this build go well, especially with that quest talent, and that is Memento Mori, where now Reaper's Mark will deal 80% increased damage after afflicting an enemy for more than 4 seconds, which we already are going to have because we finished this quest. So that is going to be a lot more crit damage. Now let's see if I can just hit Stitches with just one attack to show you how this works. If I can just find him. Stitches, where'd you go? Oh, he went back to mid lane. He went right past me and I didn't even notice him. Stitches. Boom, one attack. Now, 2, 3, 4. Look at that crit damage right there. Look at that extra damage it's doing there to Stitches because I kept applying Reaper's Mark. Now that was on Stitches. Whoops. Let me see if I can get to Cho'Gall. Look at that crit damage it's doing to Garrosh because remember, it ignores armor. Come back here. Killed us. Almost killed him, but my Reaper's Mark is what killed him. Now look at the healing I am getting off of Stitches here because of my Reaper's Mark on him. And look at the crit damage it's doing. so good. Look at the damage I'm doing now because I keep applying it to these high health heroes. And he may have just killed me. Unless, nope, never mind, hold on. That was quite funny. I fell for the Garrosh toss, and yet I was able to live because I found an area that there are no towers and the AI didn't come after me. I did set the AI to adept for the enemy team, so... I suppose I could have turned it up, but I was just getting tired of being on the bad end of a match. And I was just wanting to try and do this absurd matchup just to try and make a point. Look at that extra damage I'm doing to Stitches, and look at the healing I'm getting. Look at that. Ugh.
Well done. We have summoned an arcane punisher from the depths.
Ooh. I can get healing off both Rexar and Misha. Hello. Just keep applying it to them. There we go. Look at that. My health shot back up. Just because I was applying Reaper's Mark to them. Hi, Stitches. Level 20, I'm going to go with Final Curtain. This is going to leave a trail. Let me show it to you here. Look at that. If they enter that trail, they will have Reaper's Mark applied, like it just happened to Cho'Gall. So do you see what I'm talking about here in terms of how if you are just constantly spreading that Reaper's Mark around, especially against high health heroes, you are going to get so much value. Obviously, unfortunately, you're not going to get much value when you are going up against a ton of assassins, which is why Malthael is not really that valuable or fun to play in quick match. Because I kept getting lots of squishies and assassins, and Malthael does not do well against assassins. He only does well against high health heroes. The higher health they have, the more he is able to do. Against Cho'Gall, Stitches also with high health. Garrosh I picked just to show that it can actually, the amount of armor that Garrosh has does not matter. It doesn't change how his Reaper's Mark worked. It's still going to affect Garrosh based on his health, which, keep in mind, yes, they took away the pull, but they also increase Garrosh's maximum health, which means he's now more susceptible to Malthael in that regard. So that's why, and Rexar, just because I want to be able to have an extra body there with Misha to be able to spread my Reaper's Mark around to try and get more value, especially if they took Animal Husbandry, which they did not. But I hope I made my point clear about Malthael. Again, I wouldn't have normally done that, but I was a little tired of trying to get a match in quick match to show this, and then it ended up being a very absurd matchup and game to try and make with no damage at all, where I couldn't do anything against all these squishies, especially Genjis. It was absurd. So that's Malthael. Definitely better to play an organized play against warriors when it's gonna be guaranteed. He can definitely do a ton against high health targets. Up next, we're going to be taking a look at Medivh, a character that for the longest time I couldn't understand what he was supposed to be good at, until I realized that He's not meant for solo queuing and quick match. He's a character that is designed to be used in organized play with his kit, and you know, for like pro play. That he is one of those characters that is meant for really good pro players to get the most out of instead of solo queuing in quick match. It's a nightmare to try and solo queue into quick match because he does all these things that can help your team, but if they don't bother to take advantage of it, you're not going to get much use out of him. But I will elaborate more on that when we come back. Stay tuned.